Welcome to Job ER. This week we're in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Louisville Slugger and the Kentucky Derby. But it's also known as a big healthcare town where corporate giants like Humana and Healthco are king. Here we caught up with Gary Jones, whose position was recently eliminated. Now Gary, like so many others, is facing a job emergency.
Well, it's frightening to lose your job anytime, but especially right now with the way things are.
I'm Diane Smith. The good news is that Job ER is here and ready to help Gary. You can learn valuable skills too by watching and by checking out our free myjob-er.com website as often as you want for more help. Now, just watch as our experts help rescue Gary from his job emergency. Next on Job ER.
There's just a whole gamut of things that, feelings that you go through. It's demeaning. You feel like that you're not providing for your family. There's a lot of different things that go through your head.
It hurt his self-esteem. He didn't have that feeling of, that he was worth something. It was just, you could just tell what a devastation it was for him.
Today, Gary meets one of Job ER's resident job search experts, McLaughlin. She's a recruiter from Boston. She will assess Gary's strengths and weaknesses, his likes and dislikes, and show him ways to maximize his job search efforts, all with the goal of finding Gary a great new job.
That's right, Diane. We are here with Gary. Hi, Gary.
Hello.
It's nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
So we talked about your traits and your background and how certain traits and specialties lend themselves well to future careers.
Yes.
We had you fill out a Jobs ER profile and jobser.com. Your strength is the fact that you have a broad healthcare background. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yes.
We've also talked with your friends and family, and they all say the same thing, that you have a huge personality, that you like being out in public.
Yes, I do.
You teach Little League, for goodness sakes, so you're really out there in the public. What's confusing is right now, or in past jobs, you have been behind a desk. They have you answering the phone.
Right.
You're not face-to-face with anybody.
Right.
Do you think that a role that would have you face-to-face, meeting people face-to-face, would be more satisfying?
Oh, no doubt. No
Okay.
doubt. I would love to find something that would give me something better suited for my personality, that person-to-person contact, and yet I could still put food on the table.
Okay, good. Well, I think with the information that we've gathered in the personal profile assessment of your skills and your background, we can really take this and meld it into a career that's going to make a lot more sense for you and you're going to enjoy a lot more.
Great.
So based on Gary's profile, what we think is you'll do very well at the interview stage. The reason is the interview stage is about personality, but you can't just depend on your personality. You need to have some practice there, some substance there. So what I would say is practice. Practice makes perfect. And an important tip for those at home is pull out your video camera. Videotape yourself practicing your interview questions. The more you see, the better you get. If you're finding things that maybe aren't right, you can tweak them from there. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Good. Want to take a look at the practice interview we did earlier?
I guess so.
Okay. Now, what I'm seeing jump out at me right away is the fact that you're a bit fidgety. Fidgety is going to express, it's going to show that you're a little bit nervous, more nervous than you need to be, and it might make the interviewer nervous. So just calm down. You're just presenting yourself, you're just showing your personality and showing the skills that you've already got. So Gary, is there anything here that you can see that you'd change right now?
Oh, absolutely. I never realized, I thought I was prepared for this, but I'm just sitting here listening to how many times I said, ah.
It's a nervous habit. A lot of people do it, and that's why it's so important to see yourself on video so that you can catch these things and fix them before you go in.
Next, Michelle sits down with Gary to look at what jobs are available for someone with his experience in this market. And it looks like it's going to be more difficult than we first expected. National unemployment levels are expected to reach 12% by this summer. Make sure you're prepared for a job emergency. Visit us on the web anytime at myjob-er.com.
In nursing, as in with any job, what's most important is to find a company that you want to work for and that you like to work for. That makes all the difference in the world. Can you tell me how you normally find a job?
Well, normally what I've been doing is just picking up the paper and looking in the classifieds.
Okay, well that is one way to do it, certainly. There's a lot of other ways to do it. You can network with friends, you can join user groups, you can jump on the internet. I think we should start our search here on jobser.com's website. Let's go specifically to the healthcare section, and it will show you all the different avenues we can search for your job, your ideal job with. It'll also show you a list of preferred employers in the area.
Next, Michelle reviews Gary's resume to see how appropriate it is for a job with HealthCo, another Louisville-based healthcare provider, one that has an opening for a case manager at a local hospital. For someone with Gary's background, this could be the perfect job, nursing, mixed with lots of moving around and continuous interactivity.
That's right, Diane. So let's review this resume.
Okay.
It looks pretty good.
Thank you.
But what I see is that it's mainly a list of the jobs you've held in the past. It doesn't list your accomplishments, doesn't list the fact that you'd be good in sales or that you like being out and about and with the public.
Right.
What I want to do is rework this so that it shows your sales skills and that it could show you as a better potential candidate for a case manager to HealthCo.
Okay.
Okay, sound good?
Sure.
Some places where I think we can really pull this information from is the fact that you, on an everyday basis as a nurse in the past, have done sales. You've been with families, you've represented the hospitals, you've represented the candidates or the patients.
Exactly.
And sold them on what it is HealthCo
Yes.
is. I think that you could do that again in this kind of role. We get a lot of questions at Job ER about how a candidate should dress for an interview. Should they wear a three-piece suit? Should they wear scrubs if they're going for a nurse interview? Not necessarily, and let's talk about that now.
Okay.
What you want to do is you want to dress for the interview, not the job. So that means never ever showing up in jeans, even if you're working at a jeans store. Maybe that might be the exception, but for most cases you're going to want to dress for the interview. In this case, you're going for a sales role. You're going for a professional position. I want you in a suit.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
All right, let's give it a try.
All right.
Gary certainly has his work cut out for him. We followed along in his first interview. Let's see what Michelle thinks about what he did with her advice.
And we're back with Gary. It's been a few weeks. Gary,
Yes,
how
it
you
is.
doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Good.
Thanks for having us back.
My pleasure.
I'm anxious to see what you've done with what you've learned here at Jobs ER.
Yes.
Is there anything specific, any little nugget that you took and really owned?
I think, you know, the point that you made about my resume, how it needs to be individualized to my accomplishments and not necessarily just my job experience.
Yep.
I really like that.
A lot of people miss that. That's a great thing to pick up, and it's very important to catch a recruiter or an HR director's eye. Good job. Well, we've been following you, and we followed you on your interview to HealthCo.
Okay.
Want to see how it went? You've been
Sure.
practicing?
I have.
Okay, good. Let's take a look.
Hello. I'm Gary Williams. I have a 11 o'clock interview with Mr. Jeffries.
Okay, if you just want to have a seat, I'll get him and he'll be right with you.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Mr. Jeffries, Gary Williams, good to meet you.
how are you? Come on in. All right, appreciate you coming out today.
Thank you very much.
Have a seat. All right. Why have you applied for this role?
I applied for this role because I really and truly,
The very first thing I notice here is that you don't have a suit on.
I've got my lucky jacket on.
That remains to be seen. Let's see what else we got.
All right, Gary, you've told me a little about your strengths. Tell me about your weaknesses.
Well, I would have to say that I have trouble sometime delegating responsibilities. I want things to go a particular
This
way.
really does look good. It looks good. I see one moment here where they ask about your weaknesses. You say you have a
Yes.
hard time delegating responsibility.
Right.
What may have been smoother, maybe easier to swallow, is if you had said delegating tasks. So you're not giving away your responsibility. You're giving away a few tasks that might help you earn more responsibility.
Well, that makes sense.
That's the only suggestion I would make. Otherwise, I think this looks fantastic.
Great.
Good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You know, a job emergency can happen to anyone, and usually when you least expect it. On the next episode of Job ER, we'll meet Janice Johnson, a CPA whose firm recently filed for bankruptcy. What options does Janice have given the current economic conditions in her hometown? We'll find out on the next episode of Job ER. Since our last meeting with Gary, he had 2 more interviews with HealthCo, and starting next week, he begins his new job. Good luck, Gary. I'm Diane Smith. Good luck on your job search, and don't forget, you can visit us anytime at myjob-er.com.